With all the hullabaloo around the crisis at the U.S. southern border, it seems like everyone's forgetting that the U.S. has a northern border too, and it's not doing much better. Welcome to America Uncovered, I'm Chris Chappell. The border crisis has gotten insane, and I'm not talking about the one at the U.S. southern border with Mexico. I'm talking about the U.S. northern border with Canada. It seems like all eyes are on the south, so many illegal immigrants to the U.S. see the northern border as a more attractive alternative. And things have gotten out of hand. So out of hand that residents in northern states like Vermont are being told by Border Patrol to keep a pistol at hand because increasing numbers of illegal immigrants are crossing their land while coming from Canada.
Tonight, a new border crisis. Migrants crossing over under the cover of darkness in extreme weather, in some cases, dying.
Last 2 years, we've left the northern border open by deploying all of our agents down south, which really created an atmosphere where the cartels and other criminal organizations took advantage and exploited the northern border, unguarded.
Here's how it works. Illegal immigrants from all over the world, but mostly from Mexico, catch one-way flights to cities in Canada, then walk through the northern wilds in sun, rain, or freezing snow and cross into the U.S. And it's getting steadily worse. It doesn't help that Canada is very lax when it comes to allowing migrants from Mexico to come in without a visa, requiring instead a $7 electronic travel authorization. The numbers are not nearly as big as they are on the southern border, but don't let desensitization get you. The stats up north are nonetheless mind-boggling. According to Customs and Border Protection data, the number of migrants illegally entering the U.S. at the northern border last year topped 12,200, a 240% spike from 2022. Of those, some 70% of the illegal crossings took place along the 295-mile Swanton sector, which includes upstate New York, New Hampshire, and Vermont. This region has seen its highest ever border crossings in recent months, with more than a twofold increase from 2022, as well as a 550% increase from migrant apprehensions compared to 2019. According to Swanton Sector Chief Patrol Agent Robert Garcia, since October 1st, 2023, Swanton Sector Border Patrol agents have apprehended more than 3,100 subjects from 55 countries, more than fiscal years 2022, 21, 20, and 19 combined. And keep in mind, these are just the recorded cases. Who knows how many have been managing to cross the U.S.-Canada border undetected? Chances are the northern border crisis is a lot bigger than we realize, especially since some criminal cartels and gangs have become really good at smuggling people. What's really insane is that many of these criminals who are running these migrant smuggling operations are themselves illegal immigrants who have been released into the U.S. sometimes more than once. For example, court files show that a Colombian who goes by John Rene Perez illegally entered the U.S. from Mexico in April 2022, was released pending immigration proceedings, was detained again in October 2022 near the Canadian border, was released again, and once again failed to check in with ICE as part of his condition of release. These kinds of people are encouraging illegal immigrants to make journeys that are often dangerous, especially in the winter. There are now calls for northern U.S. states like New York to secure the northern border. But the issue isn't just illegal crossings. Asylum claims are also up. In response to the migrant crisis in 2023, the U.S. and Canada amended the Safe Third Country Agreement. This move allowed both countries to expel asylum seekers who apply for protection within 2 weeks of crossing the entire U.S.-Canadian border, rather than just ports of entry, with some exceptions, such as unaccompanied minors. The assumption is that anyone crossing from the U.S. into Canada, or vice versa, seeking asylum would be just as safe requesting asylum in the other country. The agreement also closed the Roxham border unofficial border crossing point, which was popular among illegal immigrants. But things haven't gotten much better. In fact, it's the complete opposite. Illegal immigrants are trying to get around the law through loopholes. People working with migrants say some of the people filing asylum claims days or weeks after they arrive in Canada. Some even go so far as to do it months afterwards. Asylum seekers are now also seeking new routes, including heading to Canada by air. Because the northern border crisis goes both ways. Canada is suffering as well, and I'll tell you more after the break. Welcome back. Canada has long heralded itself as a country that welcomes all immigrants, including illegal immigrants. But this has put a huge strain on cities like Montreal and Quebec, which borders the Swanton sector. Montreal is a very attractive destination for illegal immigrants because it's a sanctuary city. In February 2017, the city of Montreal adopted a policy entitled Access to Municipal Services Without Fear, with a view to allowing non-status migrants to access some municipal programs and services without fear of being arrested and removed from Canada. This followed sanctuary city designations in Toronto in 2013 and Hamilton in 2014. But being a sanctuary city has come back to bite Montreal and Quebec as a whole. So many illegal immigrants came in that Quebec Premier François Legault said Quebec couldn't take in any more. And this was back in 2022, right after the Canadian feds set a target of 500,000 annual newcomers to the country by 2025. Although, to be fair, in true Quebec style, Legault was mostly worried about preserving the French language in his province. Still, he also begged Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to send all asylum seekers to other provinces back in the beginning of 2023, warning that this influx cannot continue. Quebec's capacity to receive refugees has been exceeded. Legault also told New York City Mayor Eric Adams to cut it out with all those migrant buses. It seems sanctuary cities think alike. Legault was criticized for saying Quebec couldn't welcome more immigrants. Advocates said migrants must be welcomed by Quebec, not sent to other provinces. To show how welcoming they are, Atlantic Canada immigration ministers in New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and Newfoundland and Labrador claimed they were prepared to welcome asylum seekers. But as you can probably imagine, things didn't pan out as expected. Migrants struggled to find help in those provinces, and things only got harder as time went on. According to Bloomberg, close to 130,000 asylum claimants were processed from January to November 2023. That's more than double the 64,000 claims in 2019, before the pandemic. Canada's only getting a fraction of what the US is facing, but its entire infrastructure just can't bear the illegal immigrant crisis. These illegal immigrants overwhelmed shelters in cities like Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, Vancouver, and others. Things have gotten so bad that migrants have ended up sleeping on the streets. Imagine how much worse things are now in the Canadian winter. Not just shelters, but even schools and emergency systems are feeling the strain. It's so bad that even volunteer groups that are trying to shelter illegal immigrants are just totally depleted. Sanctuary cities are raising the alarm. Hamilton warned that pressure on its local emergency response system is on the brink of collapse. Quebec likewise warns that it's at a breaking point, with Legault noting that arrivals have continued to increase at airports. The number of people arriving on a visitor visa and applying for asylum is also increasing significantly. The Canadian federal government has pledged some support to local provinces, but it seems like it's never enough. After initially asking for $470 million in compensation, the Quebec government now wants the Canadian federal government to give $1 billion. I guess when you're desperate, you may as well aim high. Even if illegal immigrants get on their feet, though, good luck with finding affordable housing in Canada. It seems like whether it's the US or Canada, sanctuary cities are revealing their hypocrisy. But it looks like it's too late. Now, here's a video I want to show you. We live in a society where everything is sexualized. What are the consequences? That's something YouTube might consider too controversial to talk about, which is why I'm hiding that conversation in gaming content. Check out The Pitfalls of Sexual Desire according to Doki Doki Literature Club. And America Uncovered couldn't exist without your support. Hit that orange button to support the show on Patreon for as little as $1 an episode. You can also set a monthly limit. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching America Uncovered.